Hello, welcome back to my channel everyone. I hope you enjoyed my last video of me just introducing the entire channel and what we're gonna do. So for a whole week I've been wondering what to do for this video, and I've been racking my brain constantly on what to do, and nothing really came up to me until yesterday. Since I can't really do much outside of my room, I have to do stuff in here for the most part. So one thing that I do, what I like to do, is paint. So I think we're gonna do that today, or I'm gonna try. I have to set up the camera in a really interesting way. I have to do it like a top down. I was thinking of doing it like kind of like a Bob Ross, like you get the view of a canvas, but I have a lot of small canvases, and I want to, like this, very small ones. This is 8 by 10, and I want to use these up because I have a lot of them. I just don't have a lot of the bigger ones. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do a top down, kind of like if you were to draw on like a sketch pad, it's just gonna be on the table, and we're gonna try that. But yeah, other than that, it is now 2026. So happy New Year to everyone. I hope this year treats you well. I know things can get a little wacky. I just hope that you guys stay strong. Things will get better eventually. If it doesn't feel like it, it will. I hope everything goes well. At least you can watch me and just relax. And yeah. Alright, well, I'm gonna adjust the camera and then we're gonna see how this goes. And I'll kind of like explain my process along the way, how I do things, what my brain is going through, like what I'm thinking about while I'm painting. And I'm not exactly like amazing. I'm amateur, I would say. I just really enjoy painting and I would like to share it with all of you. So yeah, let's do that. We'll see you. Bye. Okay. Now we're in this angle. We are now in this angle. This took, no word of a lie, this took probably like half an hour to an hour just to set up this angle. I tried so hard to get it like right above, but there's really nothing I can do. So this is probably the best angle I'm gonna get for now. I apologize for that, but maybe in the next one, if you guys like this kind of thing, we'll try to get a top-down view. But for now, this is what it's gonna have to be. I'll do my thing and then I'll kind of show the camera. I'll try to remember that. First thing I think of is orientation, if I'm gonna do a landscape or portrait. I think for this one, we're going to do a portrait. Now what I'm gonna do, and it's the only thing I really know how to paint decently, is like a landscape, like mountains and a lake and a tree or two, something like that. That's what I usually like to do because I know the techniques decently well, so we'll do that. Before we do anything, I'll go through what I got, all the paints and stuff, what I use to make it. So first, on the colors, we got yellow ochre, deep red, there we go. We'll do like a makeup artist. Deep red. We got sap green. Focus. Sap green. We got phthalo green and phthalo blue. There we go. And burnt sienna. Ivory black. Alright, this is titanium white. I'll explain this in a second. Actually, I'll explain it right now. Okay, so for this, how I paint, I did a bunch of research on how to blend paint onto the canvas without mixing on the what is it, palette, and it makes the blending of colors more natural if you do it on the canvas, at least how I do it. So Bob Ross does this, but Bob Ross uses oil paint, and I don't really want to use oil paint because it gets on everything and it's hard to clean. At least for acrylics, it's a little easier to clean. So I had to figure out a way how to do this with acrylics. So what I got here is open, slow drying acrylic for the white. So it doesn't dry out as fast, because that's what oil doesn't dry out very fast. Acrylic dries out super fast. And then I use this gloss glazing liquid. So I mix this with the white and put it on the background before I paint anything. And that will make all these paints not dry as quick, so I can actually blend on the canvas. We're just gonna get right into it, and the first order of business is cover this entire canvas in this mixture. So just right in the middle, just a blob. We can do more if we need it. Usually I underestimate how much I need, but basically this ratio is just 50-50, so try to match this with this. It doesn't have to be perfect. This might be too much, but anyway. We'll grab, this is a 2-inch brush. It's been through hell, but yeah, so now we just mix it. I want it over everything, a nice thin layer of it everywhere. Okay, so that, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, a little bit. See it glossing. So you want that even kind of thing across. Now I see there's a dry spot right here. I'm trying not to get any dry spots. I'm trying to show the camera, it's a little difficult, but okay. So there we go. That is pretty much covered. I think it's covered as much as I can and more than I usually do, so that's a good thing. I'm just gonna put my brush in some water. You can't see it, it's a little off camera. I'm kind of working with a little small space here. It's a little difficult, but I'm trying my best. And I just got a rag here to dry it. It's not the best way to do this. I'm not gonna flick it around because this is my room. I don't want to like splash paint everywhere. It's a little, I just kind of like cup it in my hand and just go back and forth like this. It kind of works. Okay, so there's that. And then I have this little drying thing. I don't know if you can see this. This little thing, it holds the paintbrushes. I wouldn't say it holds it well, but it holds them. And it dries upside down so that it's not resting in water, I should say. Okay, so first order of business, we're gonna do a sky. That's the first thing to do. We're gonna go for the deep red. This is a 2-inch brush again, the same one. It's a little wet and that's okay. So now we're gonna go around right here because I want the sky to be like kind of in the middle, like the sky here and then the rest here. So we're gonna go right here. Ooh, okay. So the white will make it, we're doing X strokes, or at least trying to. X strokes. I want it pink, a little pink. That's exactly what I was looking for. This is a little hard on this kind of canvas. But yeah, so I wanted a little pink. I didn't want it like red. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a little pink. We're doing like I guess like an early morning kind of thing. Okay, so now we got that. Now we need blue, so we're gonna use phthalo blue. Get a little bit of it, just not like a crazy amount. This is very, very strong stuff, so I'm trying to go around the border and doing those X strokes again. I just want it all the way up on the border, and then kind of here. So we'll try that. Yeah, perfect. It's a little hard to hold this canvas and do this, but I'm trying my best. Want it to mix. And go along here. I want the blue to mix in with the red, or the pink in this case. There we go, that's not bad. Is that coming out on camera? I hope so. Just trying to make a good gradient, a decent gradient here. Now, this is where that mixture comes in. I can just kind of move the paint around. I don't know if you can see that, I hope so. I apologize. Okay. Just kind of dance the paintbrush around until you get a decent gradient. Ugh. Okay. Alright, that's that. We're not done with this guy. Don't worry. Now we're gonna put some clouds in, and I think for that, yeah, I'll keep using this. I've been just using the 2-inch brush, and my really bad one. All right, so now we need white. Okay. So a little bit on the corner of the brush, not too much. I'm just gonna just a little bit. Okay. Now on the corner, I'm just gonna add some just gonna dab it like this. Dab, 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 dab. And then once I set it in there, I'm gonna brush up. Brush up a little bit. And it doesn't matter what shape you do. They are clouds, they can be in any shape. Kind of get it off there, and then lift up. You lift up to, here, I'm not doing this enough. I'm lifting it up so it fluffs it up a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, I hope so. A little hard to see, but yeah, fluff it up. Yeah, and then there you go. You got some clouds. Now it's okay to if it mixes in with the paint, that just means it's the cloud itself is a little more, or less dense, so you can see through it a little bit. So what we did was just do the sky. So now what we're gonna do is, I think I'm gonna extend the sky down here. It won't really show, I don't think, from what I am planning to do, but it will definitely make it at least consistent, and then if I don't do what I'm planning, then oh well. So this is just like a damp brush right now, and I'm just going to do this. Okay, well, it's not exactly doing what I'm thinking. Okay, so what I'm doing is getting the color and pushing it, and it kind of comes out just so I can fill in those areas. I wasn't really planning for that, so that's why I had to do it, but that looks fine for now, I think. So the next thing I'm thinking of doing is mountains. Now these are my favorite. They're so fun to do. So mountains are primarily done with this tool, which is a knife, or a palette knife. It's easy to spread, right? So we're gonna use that, and for the actual paint, we're gonna go with black, or ivory black, and then we're gonna use burnt sienna, which is a brown. I'm gonna mix it, so hopefully I'm expecting a pretty dark brown, almost black, but not quite. Because I want this to be, usually when you're looking at a mountain, it's not totally black. So we're gonna get a little bit of the black, put it here. Hopefully you guys can see that. Into there, and then mix it around. I don't know if you can see that. I am so bad with the camera, sorry everyone. Can it focus? Okay, yeah, you can see it's slightly brown. There's a little bit of, don't worry about that. And then I'm gonna cut across. See, as like Bob Ross. There's like a little roll of paint on the end of that, and I'm gonna make the shape of the mountain. So this is not just gonna be like triangles. I'm gonna kind of follow it around, and then you'll see. So, and I'm using this part, smearing it basically on it. So we're gonna go, I'm left-handed, so I chose the wrong side, but we'll try this. So we're gonna have a peak right here. And we're gonna jolt up and then go across. This did not smear very well, whoops. That's all right. So I don't want them to be perfectly straight, because in nature, nothing is perfectly flat. Okay, so now we're gonna go this way. I didn't grab enough paint, so we'll go here. Get more. A little white in that, that's all right. So this is the position I usually go, to smear this way. Makes it a little easier. Okay. Okay. Just fill them out as best as you can. I'm kind of doing a weird grip here, just to try to get the paint to go on there better. There we go. Okay. Doesn't look like much right now, but it will turn into something. Now I'm just pulling everything down about here in the direction of where I want to go with this, and then just kind of cover up everything there. Okay, gonna get more now to mix up, but here we go. So now we're just pulling it down to fill it out so we don't see the sky behind there. And then we're gonna need like a straight across line, which is probably the only thing that is straight in nature, is a sky or a water line, because it always levels out. All right, I'm gonna switch to a brush for this. Now this is just damp. I'm not adding any color to it yet. Just gonna pull it down so it's all even decently. Hopefully kind of even color as well. Just trying to get this line straight. Doesn't have to be perfect, of course, but there we go. I think we'll do that. Okay, so now, before we put our water in, which is what it's gonna be in this white part, before we do that, I want to make some mist. To get mist, I just have the damp brush again, right out of the water. Not right out, I dried it a little bit, but. So I'm gonna grab the white paint and push it up, so it blends this line in and it'll look like mist. Just up a little bit like that, and then I'm gonna take it and swipe across. Lightly, of course. I'm not trying to hammer down hard because the bristles will cut through all the paint and expose the canvas. Okay, so there it is. You can see a little mist there. Do it again, go up, and then across. The across makes it, what's the word? It blends it in like a, what is it? Like a gradient. So you can't really see the exact line. So there we go, there's some mist. This is turning out pretty good, I think. Okay, so now we're gonna continue on the mountain. We're still not done. We need to make the snow cap, or just the snow. There's gonna be snow on this mountain, and it will bring this whole thing to life. I did forget one kind of paint that I need. I'll be right back and grab that. Here it is. This is what I have here, titanium white. This is heavy body acrylic, so it's thicker, and this is exactly what I need to make these the snow on these mountains. So we're gonna grab a bit here, put it on here. It is super thick, or a lot thicker than the regular acrylics. So for this, doing the same thing as the black, just smoothing it out here. You don't really have to do this. There we go. Cut across, and then you get this roll of paint on there. This might be actually too much. Yep, so it's like a very thin line. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so now you gotta pick where we want the caps to come from. We come up from the peaks, right? And then we go down like this, and I'll show you. And you don't want to go smooth, kind of make it jagged so it actually looks like there's multiple peaks in there, and I'll show you. Hopefully it works out. Like, you want this paint to break up. You don't want a perfect line because that's not how, it's not what there we go. So there we go. So now if you can see that, camera angles, there we go. So now it looks like there's a bunch of snow and like little peaks in there. You can see the rock kind of showing through that. And now you want to do that for every peak here. So, and follow the same side as well. You don't want to go on the other side for this. You want to keep going on the side, stay consistent, because that's where the light's shining. At least in this one. You can change it from this side to the other side. Just make sure if you're on the left side of the peak, make sure it's the left side of the peak on the other peaks. Okay, so now do this here. Oop. There we go. Now the reason I didn't even explain what the reason of heavy body acrylic was, it was because it breaks up easier when you slide it across. Like, it's not a perfect line of paint. There's some breaks in it, which you can see. You can see the black underneath it. That's why I chose heavy body acrylic for this exactly. So you can actually see that. That's the only reason why I chose heavy body for this. And these aren't my ideas. I did a lot of research on YouTube just looking for how to do this without using oil paint, because as I said before, oil paint is super messy. I would like to do it eventually, you just don't have you know, the space to like make a mess kind of thing. I already make enough of a mess. I don't want to I don't want to make more than I need to at this point. Okay, so got this going. Just whenever it doesn't work, just get more from the palette and continue on. This one didn't break up as much. If it doesn't break up, I just kind of scrape some of the paint away as best as I can, of course. There we go. That's why I kind of like jiggle it so it breaks up easier. Eventually you want all these the snow to kind of converge on the bottom. If you can see that, it's all connecting at the bottom right here. So there's the peaks, and I'll show you better. You can see that. Look at that. Looks great, I think. Let me know in the comments how you're liking it. So the next stop we're gonna do is the opposite side of the mountains. We're gonna do a mixture of the white and phthalo blue. We're just gonna use the regular, actually no, we're gonna use the heavy body and the blue. Gonna mix it. Now don't mix it perfectly. Leave some like white in there. You don't want it perfect. You want some little like marble. There we go. You can see that it's not perfectly mixed in. That's what we want. So now we're gonna go on the other side. I should have, oh boy, okay. We're gonna go here in all the dark parts on the top of the peaks. We're gonna go on the opposite side for this. Just make some room here so it's... You just want to fill in the, not fill in perfectly, but just want that to, so you can see it. I can't really drag it. I put it on the wrong side, but I'll try it here. Just on the dark parts. Not all the dark parts, just on the peak and in between here. There we go. I'm gonna have to move this a little bit. Stick it down in there. Excuse me while I mess up my camera angle just to get this in here. Now you can just leave this part out if you'd like. It's totally up to you how you like it to look. I'm just trying to show you all the things I've learned, and you guys can apply it if you'd like, painting anyway. There we go. So that's it. Okay, I did leave out something that I totally forgot about right here. It's a little weird. I'm going to put more white there. Just a little more heavy body white. Not too much, doesn't have to be crazy. I'm just gonna go swipe across again. Something like this. Okay, there we go. So it makes a little more sense there. Okay, there we go. And that's how you make a mountain right there. Now we're gonna make water. Now to make water, again, it's pretty easy, just for fun. We're gonna use my 2-inch. This has longer bristles. It makes it a little softer, a little easier. I should have used this on the sky, but I didn't. It's seen better days.
because I left it in water for way too long. You can see the rust on it. It's not the best. So if you care about your tools, don't leave them on water to rust. You know, it cracked all the paint on it. This used to look really nice, but not anymore. But this is what I have. Okay, so for water, what we're gonna need to do is just get some phthalo blue, a good amount. I didn't mean to mix it with white, just pure phthalo blue. There we go. So now we're gonna go from the edge in and stop around the middle. And of course it doesn't have to be perfect because there's a reason why we're not doing it perfect. Stop in, make sure there's, you can see some white in the middle. And yeah, and once you want it to be darker on the outside and lighter inside. That's why we're doing it from outside in. Whoops, try not to do that. You might not have that problem if you use an easel. Again, does not be perfect because nothing is in life, and that's okay. Okay, I'm gonna get a little more, it's starting to dry out a bit, and we're gonna go from this side. Okay, just keep doing that. Oops. Okay, so there is water. Now you can see this white is to signify like a light coming in from here and shining across the water. So flat against so that it looks flat up there. And there we are. Now I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna round out the light on the bottom here so it's not, so it doesn't look too light. At least for the one I've done here. It's a little too bright for my liking right now because there's not like an intense light up here. It's not that intense, so I'm going to dull it down a little bit with the blue. Oops. And to do that, you just do the same thing, but further in. I want this one to be a blue. Ah. There we go. That's a little better. I like that. Also, if you have like hair and like bristles in your painting, just take your palette knife and just slightly lift it up. It'll take a bit to get it, but boom. There we go. And then you can just go back with a brush and brush it out because you won't be able to paint underneath that at all. So that's a good thing to do. Okay, that is a lake. Now, if you like, you can be done with this. This is actually a very nice painting. I'm sure people would love this. This is really hard to get. I'll get a better shot once we're done here, but this is one of those paintings that looks a lot better from further away. You can't, my angles, I don't want to mess up my angle. Okay, now we're gonna do something new recently I've learned. So I don't know how this is gonna turn out, But we're gonna try. We're gonna do a little tiny island here of trees. That's my intention. We'll see how this goes. And again, this is my second time doing this, this kind of technique. Excuse me. All we need is a fan brush. As you can see, fan brush for obvious reasons. It's a fan. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so for this, we're going to, so we're just gonna use black for the time being. So we're gonna get in here, and now, from my experience of messing this up once before, you want to get a lot of black in there. A lot. You want to soak the bristles basically in black. The reason why is because fan brushes are weird, and they kind of like separate. All the bristles separate while you're painting, and it's a little annoying. So having more paint on it will make that a little easier to avoid, but it will probably still happen. We'll see. As you can see, it split already right there. That happens. It's a little difficult. There we go. But okay, so now for trees. We want the island to sit around here. So I'm gonna do 3 trees, and we're gonna start all the way up here. Yes, we're going right over the mountain, and it's gonna be in the foreground, so it's gonna go right above that mountain a little bit, or right in front of, I should say, not above. So we're gonna take it a little corner, and we're just gonna draw a straight line down into this area right here. It doesn't have to be perfect because we won't really see this line. So vary the lengths of the trees, because not all trees are the exact same height. So we're gonna do this. All right, yeah, see what happens? It goes into this really weird shape. That's because it just sticks in it. Yeah, it's a little annoying, but yeah, so there's that. These are just indications. You're really not gonna see this in the final, so don't worry about that. Now we're gonna clean off our brush. Now when it comes out of the water and you like dry it off a bit, it's gonna look like this. So what I like to do is just grab both of your fingers and just kind of like rub them in between your fingers, and it'll fluff them back up again. This one I didn't learn from anyone. I just did this once and it seemed to work. It's not perfect either, but yeah. Now it looks a little more like a brush, or a fan brush. Okay, so now we're gonna do green trees. So we're gonna take our darkest green, which is phthalo green. My favorite green, I think. But we'll put it a little here. We're gonna load the brush. It's a little, I want it a little darker, so I'm gonna mix black in there. Okay, something like that. There we go. There we go. Phthalo green mixed with black. So now for this, I'm gonna start on this corner and push in, and then kind of go out. So it's like a triangle basically, like this. I'll try to do this. This is my like second time doing this, so we'll see how this goes. But you want to start from the here, and then squish the brush into the canvas. Okay, this didn't really work out well. All right. Okay. make it a little better after, like that. Okay. Try it again. It's not too bad. Okay, and the last one. Actually, I will not see this from my angle. Yeah, that's not terrible. That's alright. Okay, we'll try it like this now. There we go. Then again, I am very new to that, but here we go. Some trees here. I'll get better as I try it more, but that's what we got. Okay, so now the base of this island, I'm just gonna kind of build it out a little bit just by tapping. There we go. So it's a little indication of an island now, and we're gonna move on to a little. What am I feeling here? A little burnt sienna, I think. We'll use palette knife. And just like the mountains, gonna get a little roll of paint on there. Now for this, I'm going to I'm just going to scrape along the edge of the island, and this is gonna kind of make dirt or something like that. So I'll try to, so like right where the green meets the blue. Again, doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to cut in a little. You want to be pretty equal with it. Flat, I should say. There we go. Perfecto. So something like that. You can see now it's not just grass on the water. There is soil there, or dirt. There we go. So the next thing we're doing will be the base of the island. Now that just looks like one big blob of green, right? Can't really distinguish what's what. So we're going to use a this yellow ochre. I used to not like this color, but it looks so nice on the canvas. It makes it look pretty realistic. Okay, we'll grab it just like the trees, load it quite a bit. I didn't get much on this. Okay, there we go. That's a bunch of yellow ochre right there. Now we're going to do the base of the island here, right before the trees start. And we're going to basically do what we did with the trees, is kind of dab into the canvas. There we go. So it looks like bushes. Oops. Just having fun at this point, which is the point. There you go. So just a little bit. I put too much paint on my brush, so it didn't spread out the bristles as much as I wanted to. So it kind of kept together, and there's not too much detail on that, but it doesn't look too bad. Okay, and there is my completed painting. Trying to get all of it. I guess I'll just pan it.
So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching me paint. I tried to teach a little bit about how I go about painting. Again, it's not my technique. I took it from, or not taken it, but I used Bob Ross's technique, but with acrylic paint. So yeah. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. We can see it now. Now that we're at a different camera angle, you can actually see how it looks. There you go. Yeah, so it looks really nice when it's further away. Some of the brush strokes kind of mesh together. And yeah, there you go. Looks great. Of course I'm going to say it looks great. But yeah, it's the best. It's great. I love painting so much. Yeah, painting is a recent hobby that I fell in love with. In about half of 2025, I started like painting with friends, and I found out that I loved it. So I wanted to share with you today, and hopefully maybe someone will enjoy it. One of you guys will try it, and yeah, tell me how it goes. Of course, I would love to hear. Love to hear about it. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to suggest something for me to do, leave it in the comments. I will read them, and if they're plausible, I'll try, because again, I'm kind of stuck in this room for recording. So we'll have to do it like that, but I will read them, and we'll see what I can do. And I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.